Hello, sisters. I just wanted to pull something up before I dive in. I hope you are well, and this is Finding You Well. I meant to come on a little bit earlier, but we are here now. so, um, So I wanted to pop on and share about, just do a little storytelling, more about my own journey of initiation. And when I first opened this group over a year ago now, I remember doing a really deep dive into my experience in initiations, but it was kind of uh, through a different lens. And now I am sharing more of this initiation through the lens of deep remembrance, not just initiations of going through the dark and trusting in God and the divine guidance, because that's one level of initiation, is trusting that you can go through the shadows, go through the dark, and still feel that deep connection with the divine and trust in that process unfolding. But I want to speak about a story of initiation through the lens of remembrance, remembering who we really are and remembering the divine plan moving and working through us. And so before I just kind of wanted to set this up a little bit. I'm not sure how long this talk is going to be. Thank you for being here, whoever is showing up. But I just wanted to, because of this sacred divine space, just have a deeper conversation about this journey of remembrance and speak deeper about this unveiling initiation experience that I'm going to be holding space for, ceremonial space for next Saturday. So when we choose to incarnate on earth, we're actually placed with so many different veils. And it's these veils of like ignorance or illusion or forgetfulness. And we kind of come into from the astral planes into this physical density, and we forget a lot of our nature, and rightfully so, because we're literally shifting consciousness, we're shifting dimensions, we're shifting into a completely different reality. And with this like deep concentrated physical energy, in order for us to be able to accept that we are in that state, there has to be levels of forgetfulness to have more of a smoother integration into this dense of a reality, and accept it on some level. So in the process, when we incarnate, hello, welcome, whoever is here. Hi, I'm just talking about this deeper process of initiation through the lens of remembrance. I've talked about deep initiations through the lens of moving through the darkness and trusting in the divine, but we're going to take a journey into remembering who you really are and the divine mission that's working through you. And part of this remembrance comes through an unveiling. And again, this is a deeper conversation leading to this ceremonial space that I'll be holding next Saturday in the intensive training and healing called the Unveiling. So when we're in this process of shifting from the astral, our beautiful soul, embodying into this physical reality, we forget much of who we are, our true spiritual essence, our oneness with the divine. And because, of course, we're forgetting, right? Because we're moving into deeper illusion of separation. So, of course, we're forgetting, because this is a playground of illusion. This isn't a playground of separation, although that's not our innate divine truth. That is what we experience on this in deep, dense physical reality, is this sense of separation. And so, of course, there's going to be a level of ignorance, because separation isn't our truth. It's not our divine truth. So we forget, our memory of our past lives as well. And we also tend to forget our divine mission, why we chose to incarnate on earth. And this is why, as we step into our journey, as we evolve, as we step into our womanhood, we begin to remember a lot more of this. Now, of course, the more spiritually refined your soul is and spiritually adept your your family system is, that you're incarnating is, the less veils that you're going to be placed with. The easier you're going to be in an environment where it's easier to remember, and you'll have not as many veils to lift. And it's not just like you get veils from this lifetime, there's also these soul veils. And this is why we're on this journey of self realization, because we're wanting to remove the ignorance of separation and fully unite with the divine. Let me just plug in my laptop. So the more that you have evolved in other, spiritually evolved in other lifetimes, the more refined your soul is in the awareness of divine consciousness. Then when you do incarnate in another human or physical, deeper physical form, you still hold a lot of that memory. But of course, if you are held in this really sacred container of support from a young age, you're going to more easily remember, and you're not going to take on the collective conscious veils of the earth plane or wherever it is that you incarnated on. So on the other hand, some souls actually actively choose to go into a very dense reality, to go into intense suffering, child abuse, deep just pain and heartbreak, and some souls will choose some of it's part of a karmic bind, but some of it's this deep soul choice to go into dense reality so that they can create this thread of light through that density and create an ascension process within that darkness. And again, why I'm saying this, there's no hierarchy here. There's not like this is better than the other. We all have different divine plans. We all have our own timing for blooming. There's no need to rush anything. We're always loved, we're always held, and we're always supported by the divine. There's no hierarchy of what's right or wrong here. It's just the many lenses and divine plays that play out on the earth, and what we as a sovereign soul choose to take and choose to do. And there's no right or wrong with what you choose to do with your sovereignty. So, but why I'm saying this is simply there's a story to be told here about forgetfulness and the journey of remembrance. That's what we're doing here. And that's what you're doing with every journey you're taking, is why are you taking it, and are you remembering why you're doing it? And so why did you incarnate on earth, and are you ready to remember it? Are you really ready to claim this mission and receive the divine codes of guidance and support to fully embody and embrace that divine mission? So, when you think about with that divine remembrance, you can think of it in the lens, well, what veils are covering this clear perception of self, and what veils need to be lifted and released and healed. And so what veils also do you have when you entered the world? Because some veils are really necessary to fully integrate into this new life and physical being, such as the forgetfulness of past lives. You can obviously in this lifetime now remember a lot about your past lives, and I've been on a journey of remembering a lot about my past lives, and there's so many of them. So it's like, scratching the surface, and it's not necessary to know all that information either. It's just what's helpful and supporting you in this lifetime. But you go into this world oftentimes forgetting our past lives, because we have had many different lovers, many different mothers, fathers, siblings. And if you come into this world with a sense of like loss of family, it's not going to help you fully step into this lifetime. And so you come into this lifetime oftentimes with a sense of, this is my one mother, this is my father, my siblings, that type of energy. And it allows you to really step into this space. Of course, those souls that are your mother, father, siblings, grandparents, and so on are typically a part of your soul group. So there is a soul resonance with them anyways. Okay, but then there are very important, there are veils that we receive also depending on the collective consciousness of the planet that we are entering. So depending on when you choose to incarnate on the earth, depending on what the overculture is, how the society is functioning, you're going to enter the world with a lot of different veils. And this, is going to shape the way that you see yourself, but also you choose to incarnate at specific times, because I just smelt flame. I wanted to make sure the candle was still going. You chose to come in onto earth when there was certain collective veils and to be a light bearer to release and clear those veils. And that's where we're at right now in a collective, is really removing this veil of ignorance around the divine feminine and healing the toxic masculine traits. So right now there's essential veils to lift in order to rise into a more harmonized life within our own being and within the collective earth. So the earth and humans are in we're in a massive collective rising right now. And it's essential to assist the remembrance of the divine feminine mysteries if you feel called to do this. We all have different parts to play and karmic binds to unwind and to play out whatever drama it is that we've called in. But if this is a part of this soul kind of aching, calling, magnetism of this divine feminine wisdom, then there's a part of you that chose to come here at this time, at this beginning arching point of shifting into an ascension period. We're in an ascension period, but really we're stepping, we're at a point where the darkness is so contrast to the light, and so many people are awakening, but there's still so many of these dark collective fields of awareness, and it's a really intense time to be upon the earth. And so yeah, there's this collective veil that needs to be lifted around the divine feminine mysteries, around the divine mother, and we need to harmonize that within our soul first. So it's doing our spiritual work, it's connecting to the feminine within, and that radiates out into our lives, into our community. So really, because of the desecration of the divine feminine, we as a collective have called nature, the flesh, the body, as sinful, and we really turned away from it. And we've also stifled the wisdom and voice of the feminine mysteries. This is, for thousands of years, what's been going on, where the wild, sacred, revered body of the feminine nature and the wisdom has been shamed, and the wisdom of the divine feminine buried. And so right now there is this really powerful awakening. In order for that to happen, veils of illusion need to be released, especially within your own codex, within your own self. So now the sacred wisdom of nature and the divine feminine mysteries are rising, and you are a part of this holy awakening, especially for those who are in this Sovereign Priestess collective group, because you feel called to be in this space. This is the energy, the consciousness of this space. So in this upcoming, and I'm going to get into the storytelling in a moment, but I just want to share that in this upcoming one-day intensive, which is next Saturday, March 2nd, there's two very important veils of illusion that we're going to dissolve. And this training is it's a healing and an initiation experience for those who really feel that soul resonance of the divine feminine mysteries. And the archetype of the priestess, healer, oracle, shaman, sovereign leader, medicine woman, because you are really this flame holder of the sacred awakening of the divine feminine consciousness, and it's been stored within you. And part of your reclamation of self is to own it, to own the divine feminine mysteries and not hide it away anymore, to find the courage and strength to speak it forward and to embody it in your life. So the first veil there's the unveiling will guide you to remove two veils in this training. The first veil is the forgetfulness of your body / nature as the divine temple. And the second veil that will be removed is your forgetfulness of your empowered priestess lineage. Okay, so that's, there's so much more that goes into that, but I want to share a little bit more about my own deeper unveiling and why I feel called to hold this space and to create this multidimensional ceremony where these veils can be removed, and you can really begin to start to clear the the heavy coating of illusion and start to feel this freeing of yourself, of your soul, and the wisdom within you. So I want to share a story. Yeah. I started my journey of what I would call remembrance really it started when I first started practicing yoga over 10 years ago, but really more so my remembrance of my divine mission and the divine working through me started more so in 2019 when I received my Holy Fire Reiki Master Training. that was the first time I started working with holy fire energy, and holy fire Reiki it's just powerful stream of Christ consciousness energy. It's the absolute embodiment of divine love, and it's been one of the greatest teachings of divine guidance in my life. And once I received this energy, I knew at that point that more was going to be revealed about how I'm meant to serve as this channel of Christ's light. So it became really clear that along with multidimensional healing, along with psychic readings, that I was really meant to guide women and men into greater understanding of their divine purpose for this life. Now, I'm primarily work with women, but I also do work with some men. And, we're all awakening the divine feminine within us, reclaiming our divine purpose in some way. So it's an honor to work with both men and women, but primarily I'm working with women. So as I reclaimed my mission, I of course stepped into many initiations of unveiling, because in order to truly claim my own divine purpose, I needed to remove the veils of ignorance and forgetfulness so that I could truly receive the downloads, wisdom, and guidance of how am I meant to show up? Who am I meant to serve? What is the containers I'm meant to hold? The ceremonies I'm meant to offer, and also a lot of healing through the shadows of like trusting myself, moving forward, continuing with this practice and the challenges, and just continuing to move forward with this work even when there was doubts, insecurities, uncertainty. So the more I worked with others as well, I noticed that the women coming to receive my guidance and healing, they were also just such powerful healers, mystics, priestesses, and intuitives. So much of the veils that they needed to heal and remove were very similar to the veils that I needed to remove and are still, removing. I have not completed my journey of remembrance. But it just started solidifying, and as I started growing in my own power and resonance field of why I'm here, those who started to come to me were very it was very clarified, the group of women that were finding their way to me. And that has led me to create really specific containers of initiation to step into your priestess path. Okay, so so the more I was guided by spirit, and I've been taken throughout the last 5 years on really more specific in profound initiations, especially on a soul level, and both through times of darkness and through times of joy. So initiation can happen through pleasure, joy, and ecstasy, and as well as through the darkness, the shadows, the underworld initiations. So let me just give a brief overview of some of the initiations that I've gone through to help me to remove the veils of illusions and really reclaim my remembrance. And I want to just touch on a more recent psychic journey that I've gone on that really guided me to create the unveiling. So one of the biggest initiations I've gone through is that with my husband and his family's deep relationship with Catholicism, and the 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 guilt, the shame, the weight of rules, dogma that come with Catholicism really weighed on our relationship, and this idea of what's right, what's wrong, who's condemned, who's not, just this really heavy energy, especially as I was stepping more into my own truth and relationship to God through my own inner channel, and what that has led me to, which is the divine feminine mysteries and my priestess lineage, and sacred yogic spiritual practices, and it feels so honest and true for me. And then having this overarching deep cultural belief of like the church's beliefs battling within my relationship. It always felt like, especially between my husband and I, this church versus witch type of energy. We've worked a lot through it, and we've come to such a profound place, but it's a very important journey to go through, because it helped me unveil more of any more of past lives that I've had where I've had to hide my beliefs and my relationship with the divine feminine in order to survive. But luckily, this lifetime, we don't need to do that anymore. We don't have to hide, and it is important to reclaim our voice as women and our relationship, our intuitive, cosmic womb, heart, divine love relationship with God, and we're here to reclaim it. So, yeah, so that's been a big initiation and unveiling for me. Of course, birthing my children has been a huge veil of going deep into the underworld of all of the reclamation of womb power, where my womb has been, where I disempowered or raped or and just really reclaiming sovereignty of self and stepping so deep into my womanhood and my leadership of self, my sovereignty of self. So that was a big veil removing of connection to myself. And then, of course, my relationship with my divine feminine ascended master guides, the communication I have with them, they have guided me on such deep journeys, especially on pivotal moments like of times around birthdays or around eclipses and equinox. I get really intense upgrades, downloads, and channeling guidance and journeys that I'm taken on by the ascended masters to retrieve more of my soul gifts, understanding of my divine mission. One of the biggest initiations I've taken that removed a huge veil is my Kriya Yoga initiation through the lineage of Babaji, Mahavatar Babaji, and that was sent out through more recently through Yoganandaji in the 1900s. And so he has still these beautiful lessons that you can go and learn and take this really powerful Kriya Yoga initiation, which basically awakens the Kundalini energy at the base of the spine, activates all the 7 chakras, and is a practice to help remember a clear relationship with God, self-realize ourselves. So that's a yogic practice that I do every day as well. And yeah, so these are powerful initiations, but more recently, I've been unlocking more of the codes of my own priestess lineage because and if you've seen if you've been with me for the past couple of years, which a lot of you have, you've seen this shift of definitely going into divine purpose, life purpose, divine feminine energy, into really reclaiming the priestess lineage. And there was a lot of resistance to this word priestess just because of like new age terminology and all of that. But as I came to understand what the priestess really is, it was almost like this on a soul level, like you need to reclaim this word. It has been shamed and shunned and put down and misused, and now it is time to actually reclaim it, what it means to be a priestess today. And so this is why I use this word, whether you are a healer, oracle, mystic, shaman. The word priestess, it's just you're serving the spiritual needs of the community and choosing to be this profound conduit of divine consciousness into your life, literally activating the crystal grids of divine feminine consciousness upon earth. And all of you here are a part of that awakening. So through this unveiling experience, I wish to share with you, it was really an opportunity, to really anchor into this deeper knowing of priestess past lives. And, we don't have to know everything to walk forward in our path, but there are certain stories and journeys and times of remembrance that just give us this greater understanding of ourself and our soul as a whole, that really guide us to reclaim why we're here in this lifetime. So recently, when I was taking on this journey, and I was taken to this past life where I was it was a very dismal past life. In this moment, I was seated on like this. There was this just dusty street. It was very early, like thousands of years ago. But it was after Christ came, after Jesus came, Yeshua came. And it was this like very sad, dark energy, like village town type of energy, just like dirt roads. The houses, the huts were not well taken care of. It just the vision I'm seeing of it is just like lifeless. It was very lifeless. And I was sitting there outside of, I guess, the house where I was living, and I could just feel this presence of this man, very dark energy. But I guess I was married to him. But there was this very fearful energy, this dark looming energy. Like I was like chained to this experience. And as I went deeper into this, more into my childhood, I was taken back to an experience of being in this beautiful like cottage in the fields. There were just rolling hills of grass and flowers, and this cottage where I lived, my mother was there, just so loving. I had siblings, and there was this beautiful stone, like stone gate, or yeah, the words kind of leaving me right now, but this like stone ledge around the entire house, and it was so beautiful and magical and playful. And but I remember feeling in this journey that my father wasn't really, he wasn't really in the picture. He was often out and about, and like doing trade work or trying to make money or whatever it is he was trying to do. But I did have a deep, deep love for my mother and felt such a connection to her. And I had the knowing that my father, I was the only woman, I was the only daughter, and there was other boys, and my father had actually just sold me to this man. He basically like arranged this marriage basically to pay off debt for himself. And so that's how I ended up in the future with this man. And then I was taken to more of a future timeline of actually being free of this situation where I was in a carriage with horses, and there were other sisters in this carriage, and we're all kind of wearing the same thing, veils over our head, and we're like in the dark of night, almost like escaping energy. And it was this energy of yeah, like getting freed from this experience. And where I ended up going was to this really beautiful temple, deep. It was like it had to be hidden. It was in the mountains, because the divine feminine mysteries weren't allowed to be practiced, and so it was kind of hidden in these beautiful, like gorgeous green hillside, and I was taken down the path, and we arrive at this temple space, and there's just this beautiful Isis, winged Isis statue. And the like high priestess there, she welcomed and greeted all of us, all of the women. We all had red veils, and it was this symbolism of the rose. And it was this deep sense of coming home, like welcome, welcome, you're finally here. And when I tuned more into this woman, remembered that she had like I knew her. She had visited me often as a young child. It was preparing me initiations. It's like she knew my soul was a part of this initiation path, but was sold off my father, so I wasn't able to go to the priestess, to the temple and take initiations. And so there was this kind of like collection of these women who were being these divine women, my sisters and I, like regathering of ourselves to return back to this lineage, this Isis lineage. And to reclaim our path. So it was just really profound and it felt deep. It was deep Egyptian mystery teachings that were happening in this temple, but it wasn't in Egypt. It was kind of after the fall. And yeah, these teachings weren't quite accepted and were kind of hidden away. So it was a really profound experience. And I've had other experiences of seeing myself in temples and practicing specific healing initiations and moving energy in my body. But this was such a more expansive journey. And it was just really, really beautiful to reclaim that remembrance of my own priestess path. And this is why I want to hold the space for this powerful training coming up on next Saturday, the unveiling, so that there is space for you to heal anything within you that's preventing you from stepping into this profound remembrance, and to really reclaim the sacred temple of your body and reclaim the memory of your priestess lineage. So this unveiling experience is, yeah, it was just profound initiation, and it guided me to access more codes to step into my divine purpose. And that's really what this initiation experience experience next Saturday is going to be, is to support you into accessing more codes of wisdom that are already within you so that you can reclaim your divine purpose as well. So, again, with this 1 day training, it's going to be first activating your temple codex, really reclaiming the sacredness of your body, of nature, and creating this holy temple through which powerful initiations can take place, where you feel this beautiful sacredness of your embodiment of nature. And then the priestess codex is where we're going to go into a deep understanding of priestess lineages and what that actually looks like, and going through a profound healing and ceremonial experiences where you're going to heal and remove veils of ignorance so that that divine remembrance does come through. Now, just the training itself, this 4.5 hour training, you get lifetime access to it. It's 333, and for 111 more, so 444, you can actually receive a private 1 hour healing experience with me where you're going to be guided into your own Akashic records and be taken on a journey into a priestess past, or whatever it is, or priestess paths that your soul wants to remember, whatever it is that your soul is ready to remember right now. So the link is in the description if you want to read more about this 1 day training and activation and healing. But so wonderful to be with you all, sisters. I feel complete with that share. And I'm just sending you all so much love. Mwah. Many blessings.